Hey everyone, and welcome back. Have you ever stopped to think about that piece of paper or plastic card in your wallet? What gives it value? Why do we work so hard for it? Today, we're diving deep into the incredible story of money, a journey that spans thousands of years and has completely reshaped human civilization. It's a story of trust, innovation, and power. So, let's get started. Before money existed, life was complicated. Imagine you're a farmer who has a surplus of wheat, but you need a new pair of shoes. First, you have to find a shoemaker. Then, you have to hope that shoemaker actually needs wheat. What if they need wool instead? You'd have to find a shepherd willing to trade wool for your wheat, then go back to the shoemaker. This system is called barter, and while it works in small, simple communities, it's incredibly inefficient. This is known as the double coincidence of wants, a fancy term for needing to find someone who has what you want and wants what you have. As societies grew, this system became a major roadblock to trade and progress. People needed something better. So, humanity started searching for a solution. The first step was commodity money. This is when people agree to use a specific, commonly desired item as a medium of exchange. What kind of items? Well, it varied all over the world. In ancient China, they used cowrie shells. Their unique shape and durability made them hard to counterfeit. In parts of Africa, salt was so valuable it was used as currency. Roman soldiers were sometimes even paid in salt, which is where the word salary comes from. Other examples include cattle, grain, and even giant stone discs on the island of Yap. These commodities had intrinsic value. You could actually use them. But they weren't perfect. Cattle could get sick, grain could rot, and carrying giant stones around isn't exactly practical. The world needed something more durable, portable, and divisible. This need led to the next great leap, metal. Around 3,000 years ago, people started using chunks of precious metals like gold, silver, and copper. This was a huge improvement. Metal doesn't spoil, it's easy to carry, and you can divide it into smaller pieces. Initially, people traded lumps of metal by weight. You'd literally have to carry a set of scales with you to complete a transaction. Imagine doing that at the grocery store today. It was still a bit clunky. The real revolution came when a powerful authority, usually a king or government, started minting coins. Around 600 BC, the Kingdom of Lydia, in modern-day Turkey, is credited with producing the first standardized coins. These were made from a natural alloy of gold and silver called electrum. The government would stamp the coins with an official seal, guaranteeing their weight and purity. This was a game changer. For the first time, you could trust the value of a piece of money just by looking at it. You no longer needed scales. This innovation spread like wildfire across Greece, Rome, and the rest of the ancient world. Coins fueled the growth of vast empires, funded armies, and made international trade easier than ever before. Money was no longer just a tool for exchange, it was a symbol of power and sovereignty. For centuries, coins made of precious metals dominated the world economy, but they still had a drawback. They were heavy. If you were a wealthy merchant, carrying huge bags of gold and silver was dangerous and inconvenient. This problem was especially acute in China during the Tang dynasty. Merchants would deposit their heavy coins with a trusted agent and receive a paper receipt. These receipts, which were much lighter and easier to carry, began to be traded as if they were the coins themselves. Seeing this, the government decided to get in on the action. Around the 11th century, the Song dynasty in China issued the world's first official government-backed paper money, known as jiaozi. When European travelers like Marco Polo saw this, they were astonished. In Europe, the idea of paper having value was completely foreign. It took several hundred more years for the concept to catch on. In the 17th century, the first European banknotes were issued in Sweden. Initially, these notes were just promises. They were IOUs that you could, in theory, take to the bank and exchange for a specific amount of gold or silver. This was the beginning of the gold standard, a system where a currency's value is directly linked to gold. For a long time, this system provided stability, but it also limited a government's ability to control its own economy. The 20th century brought some of the biggest changes to the story of money. Following economic crises like the Great Depression and the immense costs of two world wars, countries began to move away from the gold standard. In 1971, the United States officially severed the link between the dollar and gold. This ushered in the era of fiat money, which is the system most of the world uses today. Fiat is a Latin word, meaning, let it be done. Fiat money has value simply because the government declares that it does, and because we, the people, all agree to accept it as a medium of exchange. Its value is based entirely on trust in the stability of the issuing government. That piece of paper in your wallet isn't backed by gold, it's backed by faith. And the evolution hasn't stopped. In the late 20th century, credit cards and electronic banking moved money from the physical to the digital realm. Suddenly, we could transfer vast sums of value across the globe in an instant, with just the click of a button. And now, we are in the midst of another seismic shift, with the rise of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. These are decentralized digital currencies, not controlled by any single bank or government. They operate on a technology called blockchain, a distributed public ledger. Whether this is the next major chapter in the story of money or a passing trend, only time will tell, but it proves that our concept of money is constantly evolving. From bartering for shoes to mining for Bitcoin, the story of money is the story of human ingenuity. It's a story of how we learn to trust each other, build complex societies, and trade on a global scale. But what does this long history mean for you today? It means that the concept of value is a human creation. It's an idea we all agree on. The systems change, the tools evolve, but the underlying principles of trust and exchange remain. Just as people innovated from shells to coins, from paper to pixels, you have the power to innovate in your own life. Don't be limited by the current system. Think about the value you create. It's not just about earning money, it's about what you build, what you contribute, and the problems you solve. Your skills, your ideas, your passion, these are your personal currency, and just like money, their value isn't fixed. You can grow it, invest in it, and use it to build the life you want. The history of money shows us that radical change is always possible. So, what new value will you bring to the world? What will be your legacy? Thanks for joining me on this journey through time. If you found this interesting, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the ideas that shape our world. See you in the next video.